Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You look pretty.
So do you. And I can hear you
Mm,
loud and
thanks.
clear, so headset seems to be
Seems
operational.
to be working. Yeah.
Yes.
It looked like it was charging and it was not. So
Yeah.
here's hoping it stays.
Yeah. Well, we'll deal with it if it doesn't though. I think like you're just doing this through your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it still has a microphone and audio stuff,
Still has
right? So
audio.
yeah, so we should be
Yeah,
good.
I think so.
Anyways, how's your week been?
Really good.
Yeah.
Kind of low key. Been trying to pump the iron,
Yeah, yeah.
make my
Sticking
make my
with
butt a
it.
little tighter. Yeah, not too bad.
Awesome. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Although
I
it has
have
been a
not.
full month with
Thanks
no
for asking.
sugar.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah. How has your week been?
I think it was a good week. I did not do good with like eating and exercising, but it was a good week.
All good.
Yeah. Elena got strep throat, but
Oh no.
thankfully, yeah, I had to think back and think of what this week was. He, she handled it all right. Like
Well,
normally
that's
she
good.
is just kind of the worst with medicine because she was traumatized by cherry Tylenol once.
My kids too.
They really
Seriously.
they hate it. They hate it.
Uh-huh.
Um, but thankfully, I think she kind of liked the flavor of this one because she'd be like, "No, no."
Yeah.
It's like,
I
all
don't want
right.
any.
Yeah. Thankfully though, because normally it's like a fight and she's still finishing antibiotics, but she's already like feeling better and back to herself again. So
Well, I'm glad she's feeling better. There's a lot of stuff going around right now.
holy
I
shit.
think,
Like
yeah, I think when the weather changes, like when the seasons change, it just throws everybody out of whack. And
for
like,
sure. And it's been here in Florida at least, it's been, I think, a cooler winter. Like it just feels
yeah,
like it's been colder a lot more than I remember it being past years. And
for real.
definitely the sicknesses are still like in full force. And even COVID, like it's like every week somebody else is out with COVID. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
this is our new normal.
getting ridiculous, guys.
It
Yeah,
is. Anyways, but
man.
that segues nicely into what
What
you
we're
were
talking
talking about
about
though.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, welcome back, everybody. Um,
Everybody.
everybody, all
All of
three of
you.
you. Thank you. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Dan.
Um, um, so I just had an idea this week that I kind of wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the healthcare system and how it's broken and kind of just sucks for everybody involved.
Yeah, I think about that a
For,
lot.
yeah, it sucks for the general population. It sucks for doctors and nurses who have to deal with just mountains of bureaucracy. And anyway, it just sucks for everybody involved. So I was thinking, like, do you ever wake up in the morning and you're like, what would I do if this were me? And this was my system to fix. What would I do?
I mean, yeah, to some extent.
Kind of,
I
maybe.
definitely think of like why aren't we doing this way instead of this way? Yeah, like this seems
Yeah.
silly.
Well, so I was thinking,
Okay.
um, in in my, humble opinion, overcharging for medicines and things is like unto treason. It should be like a punishable offense. People need these things to stay alive, and you're holding them hostage for large amounts of money. It's extortion. That's the word I'm looking for. It's extortion, and
Yeah,
it's not right, right?
right.
So you take the drug companies. This is where everything starts, is at the drug company base level, where they're overcharging for everything. We bring all of the medicines down to a manageable level. Should they still be making money? Probably, but it should have a cap and it should not be an exorbitant
And
amount,
how do you
right?
get that money down to a reasonable level for the drug companies? Because I only
Um,
say this as a devil's advocate that our
yeah,
old neighbor from Indiana works for a drug company, Eli Lilly. And I remember
yeah, my
Anthony
grandpa
was
worked
just
for Eli
talking.
Lilly.
Yeah, they it does cost millions in like research and development
Research and development.
to
Guess who
make
came
the
prepared with the numbers?
yay.
I did.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. So, um, to start with, maybe we play a clip of that video you sent me.
What drug does Imbruvica, what does it treat?
Congressman, I recognize Imbruvica is one of the products that we do market. I'm not exactly sure.
It's okay. I'm not trying to trick you. It treats leukemia. Do you know what the price that Johnson & Johnson has set for it?
I do not have that on my fingertips.
It's $484 per capsule per tablet, which works out to about $14,000 per month, which works out to about $160,000 per year for leukemia patients. Now, do you know, or I can tell you, how much money, gross revenue, the Johnson & Johnson has made from this drug over the last 10 years?
Congressman, it's not something that I'm an expert at, not something
Sure.
I'm here to testify to today.
$22 billion. Do you know the gross profits of Johnson & Johnson in 2023?
I couldn't tell you that.
$65 billion. So just to recap, you've got a pill for leukemia patients. You sell it at $484 per capsule. That's $160,000 a year. You've made $22 billion over the last 10 years, and you're making $65 billion in profit. Now, we have passed as a Congress, and the President has signed a bill saying, you know what, let Medicare negotiate to try to bring that price down. And you, in your department, because you're Assistant General Counsel, have filed a lawsuit saying that that negotiation would be an unjust taking. Let me ask you this. Do you believe when the Veterans Administration negotiates for drug prices with you that that is a violation of the takings clause?
Congressman, I appreciate the question. The bases for our litigation against HHS with respect to the Inflation Reduction Act are fully disclosed in our complaint. I'm not an expert in this area.
You're the Assistant General Counsel for a company that is accusing the United States government of taking your property because we're negotiating. And you can't answer a simple question about, I'm just a yes or a no. Does the Veterans Affairs negotiation with Johnson & Johnson constitute a taking?
Congressman, we believe that the IRA constrains
No,
medical innovation.
I'm not asking about that area. I'm asking you about, do you believe the Veterans Affairs, when they negotiate, does that constitute a taking?
Congressman, again, that is not a litigation that I have great familiarity
Okay,
with.
so I'll just say you don't want to answer that question. Do you believe when Medicaid negotiates and gets a rebate for anything over the price of inflation, do you believe that that constitutes a taking?
Congressman, again, it's not an area that I specialize in.
I guess I don't understand how, being the Assistant General Counsel, you can come before the United States Congress when you're suing the United States government saying that we are taking your property. Now, that's a very serious charge. Taking means like if I came as the government with the force, took your property, and you don't know whether it's a taking, when the Veterans Administration negotiates, you don't know whether it's a taking, whether Medicaid negotiates. I assume you'd say it's not a taking, because obviously it's not a taking. These administrations have been negotiating for years, and yet you're arguing that Medicare should, when they negotiate, it's a taking. Medicaid, do you know how many % of the American population is on Medicare?
Congressman, no.
It's 18% about. Do you know how many are on Medicaid?
Congressman, no.
About 18%. So it's not like Medicare has a bigger market. Medicaid negotiates with 18%. Do you know about how much is on, how many of our people are veterans? It's about 6%. So you have already a larger population, when you combine Medicaid and Veterans Affairs, negotiating with your company so that you don't make $65 billion in profits every year, and so leukemia patients don't pay $160,000. You have filed a lawsuit. I think it is shameful what you and the pharmaceutical companies have done in suing the United States government to protect those profits, and you are totally unprepared to answer a single question about what the takings clause is and a justification for that lawsuit. I mean, I really believe hopefully someone in the company and these other pharmaceutical companies can provide the American people with an explanation why you consider Medicare negotiating those drugs to lower those profits, those obscene profits, a taking when you don't consider that for the Veterans Affairs Administration or Medicaid. Mr. Chairman, I hope someone will answer my questions on that, and I yield back my time.
They were talking about one drug, and it was a cancer drug, and I didn't compare it with these numbers, but
Mhm.
it costs, I want to say, like between 120 and 180,000 dollars a year to take this one drug for cancer patients. And I think he said that the drug company made over $60 billion on this one drug last year. $60
Yeah.
billion on one drug.
Off of leukemia. You're making money off of leukemia.
And people who literally cannot say no, or they die. I mean,
Yeah.
that's as extortionist as it comes.
Yeah, like
Um,
we just
and
have the worst people in charge of like the world right now. They are
yeah,
so selfish and it's
and
crazy.
research, the research and development portion
Uh-huh.
is what I grew up hearing too. Like, we need the money for research and development. And of course, we want to make new, like, discoveries, cures, everything. We need that research and development. The numbers I found were from 2017 to 2018. So
Okay.
it's been a few years, but we're in the general area.
Yeah.
So the National Institute for Health spent between 30 and 48 billion dollars on medical research, right?
Yeah.
And the research and development of drug companies in the US was 194.2 billion, right? So
Yeah.
under $200 billion for research and development. Great.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Medicare, well, I'll get back to that in 1 second.
Okay.
So we form some sort of committee that says, okay, what is a reasonable amount for people to make on drugs? Because these are innovations. This is a business for people. They should make money. I'm not completely communist or socialist or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah.
But there needs to be some ethics in it because it has to do with people's health, and they're kind of at the mercy of whoever's making these things. And
Yeah.
especially where they have what is the word for when you create something nobody else can create that same thing?
Patents?
Patent, thank you.
Yeah.
Because they can make patents on them, so people can't then make the same drugs. I mean, once they've got
Yeah.
it, they've got it until such time as people can make
Generics.
anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for knowing all the words. I'm not wording well today.
You're doing great.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a cap on that. So you bring that all the way down to where it's manageable for everyday people. If this, $100 drug could be brought down to $3, I could pay that myself out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
And they're still making money, but I can pay that out of pocket. So for general people who are generally healthy, only need to go to the doctor for getting sick and for, a few checkups here and there, and probably some preventative health, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
We could take care of that ourselves, right? So you
Believe
get rid of health insurance, which is a massive scam in and of itself. I hate it so
Yes.
much.
Oh yeah. I
So
100% agree with that.
mhm.
That's
But yeah,
it
so
keeps me out of that
that's
field, really.
yeah. So you take health insurance completely out of it. You make medical where you can actually, where your average American can pay out of pocket. But you'll also have two other groups of people. There will be the people who couldn't afford it no matter how much it was, because there will always be those. And you have the people who have major health problems, right? And
Yeah.
they
Cancer
will
and
always
things
need
like
help.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my other plan. Medicare and Medicaid.
Okay.
Do you know how much the US spends on those every year?
100% off the top of my head. I got it.
Yeah.
And it is?
Okay. Medicare in 2022, it was 944.3 billion.
Okay. And where are we getting these stats from? Like
The
government
internet,
website or
the
something?
interwebs.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
I can send you the links in.
Yeah, do. So I can put
We
it in
can.
like the description And then that way,
Absolutely.
if anybody cares.
So, okay, Medicare, 944.3 billion a year, and
Mhm.
Medicaid, 805.7 billion a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Ridiculous amounts.
billions.
Yeah.
That's a lot of billions.
Yeah.
And where the drug company, if a drug company is making over $60 billion on one drug, that goes far beyond research and development. That goes far beyond paying people livable wages or even exorbitant wages. That is obscene and disgusting to make
Yeah.
off of sick people. It's gross. And the fact that
Agreed.
we're allowing it makes me so, so angry.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm a generally healthy person. Like my family, I would say we are probably about as healthy as they come. But when I
You're
have to
very
go take my
blessed.
kids
Yeah.
to a
You're
doctor,
lucky.
it's insanity. When I have to take my kids to go get stitches and it's like $1,000, are you kidding me? To stitch
Yeah.
someone up? My sister-in-law had to get stitched, or she got cut on her face one time. She went to the doctor. They super glued it shut and charged her $700. Like, what is going on? We're the laughing stock of the entire world.
Yeah. We have to agree all around that we see healthcare as a human right. We have to agree that like we've come to this point in society where we have the means and the knowledge and the capability that we could take care of these needs for everybody if we collectively said, hey, this is what we want to do, like with taxes or whatever. But like so many people just do not see it that way. They just
Yeah.
don't. They, I don't know. That's some like a hurdle we've got to get over though, you know?
hmm Yeah. Well, I am all for spending even a fraction of that Medicare and Medicaid on helping those with major health problems and those who are less fortunate. Um, and I think all of us want to feel like we can pay for our medical stuff ourselves. We don't want these hurdles. We don't want to have to fill out all the paperwork. We don't want to have to worry about if we're in network. We don't stop it.
Yeah.
Knock it off. We need to do
Because
away with,
so much of that paperwork and stuff like that and HIPAA and all these things, it comes from like a lot of it is it's like to protect patient privacy and I get all of that, but it comes, I think, from like people suing and now like
yeah,
we're just having to be so cautious and because and this everything's run by corporations too, so they're very business minded. So
yeah, and you have to
yeah,
be.
yeah,
Absolutely. But there's covering your back,
uh-huh,
watching your back, and then there's obscenity.
yeah,
If you need
oh,
60
for sure,
billion
yeah.
dollars to, guard for anyway.
No, you're right.
I'm gonna get off on something else. But and as far as that's concerned, we also need, let me gather the thoughts here together. Um, if we had drug companies that were not so worried about their bottom line and by like this drug makes money, they'd be a lot more likely to take something off the market if it was bad for you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hmm.
If um
Whereas I
if they're
think
researching, yeah,
companies can like lobby to, or just there are drugs that I think are doing more harm than they are good, but they get
yeah,
pushed through because people are making money and
yeah. If you want to get really mad, go listen to podcasts on OxyContin and oxycodone and those kind of things and how they push those through.
hmm
They knew they were super addictive and going to ruin people's lives, but they made
money.
money, so
Yeah, yeah. Like
infuriating. And that kind of thing, we need to make sure that that kind of thing can't be incentivized like that because it destroys generations of human beings.
yeah,
Horrible.
agreed. I think
So,
um like I agree with everything you're saying. I don't know how like feasible it is with the people in
of course,
power that are
these are
in
just ideas.
power. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
especially when people who are making, you know, billions and billions of dollars, they've got a lot of pull. There's
yeah,
not a lot of people that could say no to, lifelong wealth for one little signature.
I know. I watch like these, like you watch Mr. Beast Like I love Mr. Beast. I think he's really awesome. But I watch him going to like on these ridiculous vacations because he's been doing these like start at like $1 and then you go up to like a million and all that. And I'm just thinking about
Yeah.
like not only all the money that's being spent, but like I look at these homes and these things that these people have and like entire islands, and I'm just like, they don't even remotely live in our world. Like there are
There's levels to this stuff. I'm not even opposed to people being really wealthy. Like,
yeah, I know
if
they could
that's your
still be
goal,
that level of wealthy pretty much
mhm,
and share some. But also you don't fucking need that. Nobody needs that. Like that we all
well,
share this earth and there is no amount of labor that gets that. You know what I mean? You're not
yeah,
fucking special. You're a human. Like we're all humans and so many people do not see, like I really don't even think they look at the like human population as all
as a
human.
whole,
As a whole, no, not at all.
yeah,
Like there the fact that there is a whole like you could buy organs, like there are people who are
that's gross.
trafficked and their organs are taken, and that's like a problem. Like you could buy organs so you can have enough money to put yourself up on the list to get, you know,
Yeah,
things that other people can't. Like it's so broken that it's like
yeah, that's
it
gross.
feels like that system can't
But,
be fixed.
but I think it needs to be fixed at like
Oh, for sure.
a systemic level, because as soon as you get into the realm of taking money from other people, you get into a really slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's really easy to spend other people's money,
Yeah.
and there's I don't know. What I really like about America is that you can dream big, and if you work really hard and have an insane amount of luck and probably some, help behind
Capital.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There are ways for you to create whatever you want. You know what I mean? And that's a very general way of saying that, because I know there's a
Yeah,
lot of
because it's
people
to an
who
extent, because
can't.
some people literally,
Yeah.
you know, they're,
There's
and I
levels to
know
that,
them, they're
obviously.
just living in trailers right now, and I'm talking like camper trailers, and they're happy, they're
Yeah.
content, but like that's the place we are in society. That's like
Mhm.
our
But
normal.
if the system were fixed, there's nobody telling you, hey, you grow up in lower middle class, you have to stay there, right? I mean,
To
there are
an
systems that try to keep you
extent,
there.
like
There are
to an
systems that try to keep
extent.
you there.
Sure, if
But
someone works really, really fucking hard, they might be able to get to the level that somebody else is born at.
yeah.
There's a
Well,
lottery, a human lottery, where you were
there is a
born,
human
what you,
lottery.
and I feel like I landed in a really great place, even though I know I'm definitely on the bottom half of it, but I still feel like I'm still pretty happy and content with my life because I don't feel like
Yeah.
I need for much. But also, I will tell you that I very much am a victim of the system in the sense that like I have a lot of things going kind of untreated right now, despite knowing better.
Yeah.
Like even with my own teeth, like I have things that very much need to be done. And like the last people to get in, like have worked at dental offices, so many dental offices, and sure, your dentistry is free because like all you have to pay is the lab costs. So that is like a perk of working in dentistry, and I'm sure there's perks like
Still a
that
lot
in
though.
medicine. But getting to be the patient is hard sometimes when you're always the practitioner
Hmm.
and finding the time. And I don't know, just it's kind of crazy. I will say though, have you kind of ran the gamut of what your thoughts were? Can I start like
Yeah.
rambling
Go.
or
Just go.
okay, I didn't want to like step on your toes if you're still going
Hey, you're good.
whatever. Okay, so I feel like I have some good news because
Okay.
I stumbled upon this TikToker. Let me find her name to, and I know I sent you this also, so you may have already seen it. Dr. Jenaya. I'll have to like put it up there.
There are a lot of doctors looking to get out of this hellhole of a system that we call healthcare. And if you're flirting with these ideas, it may feel like a really impossible task. But luckily, the Take Medicine Back Summit is going to have an entire breakout session on viable options outside of the corporate practice of medicine. So check it out right here. Restoring independent practice, viable models, bypassing the middleman economy. This is really good info if you really are looking to get out of this. February 10th Palm Springs, California, go to this website. You can register. If you can't make it out, you can attend virtually and watch all these breakout summits and get all the information that you need.
But she, through her TikToks, I've been learning about this group of doctors and medical practitioners who is fed up with the system in the way that it is right now.
Good.
Yeah. And so what it looks to be the solution that they're coming to is to operate outside of the system, like creating a new system to run parallel to like the current system, just like you have another option pretty much.
Nice.
I
like that idea.
Yeah. So let me find some information here. But there's a thing in California. They're doing this whole thing with a bunch of keynote speakers, and Katie Porter, you know her. She is a congresswoman in California who she's just done a really great job getting up and kind of calling corporations out on their bullshit. Like, I know you know her. I know if you like saw one of
I'm
her
sure
things,
I'm
you would be
horrible
like,
with names. If
"No,
I
that's
saw her
okay."
face, I'd be like,
So,
oh yeah, I
you
know
know
who
her.
she
But
is.
either way, she's going to be speaking there. But it's like a bunch of doctors and lawyers who I think what they're arguing is that the corporation of healthcare is illegal, that it should have never happened. So there's that. That's one of the first big things, because I 100% agree with that, despite working for a corporation. Like I feel like our system is broken, and having
Very much
corporations
so.
responsible for our healthcare has really got things way off the rails, and everything is for profit, which we're okay with profits, but the profits aren't even going to your doctors
They've
anyways,
already shown that they can't be
that's not
trusted with
yeah,
this.
but that's not the reason why like doctors want it back. Or like dentist or hygienist, like it's I just want to freaking help people. Like if I could just have it
That's
to
why
where
most people get into the
yeah,
healthcare profession.
but I want to make a good living, but I don't need to be and so hygienist is not like they're making like bank. Nobody's a hygienist and a millionaire. Like that never happens. There is a very much a cap. Like it's a good wage, but it will never go above that wage. It's like that's it. That's what you get. Even like there's no growth, I guess. But like I would be okay with that. And I would be okay with seeing, I'd say, even more patients in a day with a little less time depending. If I could just see patients because of what they needed, like if I wish that we just had a system in place where it's like everybody goes to the dentist every 6 months and everybody gets a cleaning. Like if you're showing up and you have periodontal disease, like a lot of times they're going to be like, if you're not going to do the periodontal disease cleaning, we can't even do a regular cleaning because we're not addressing your needs. So like legally we can't.
Yeah.
Yet that person just left without any service,
Anything.
any help. Yeah. And I would much rather just have a system where I'm just cleaning people's teeth so that everybody's getting access to that, and I do the best I can on every patient versus I don't know. I don't even know if that's making sense, and I'm going off on a
Bureaucracy.
tangent.
Yeah, you
But
take
it
the
wasn't
bureaucracy
really
out of it and
meaning
you
to
can help.
do. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could still make like, and even if they were paying out of pocket, like there's a reasonable amount for cleaning and for each of these things, and I'd be okay with making a percentage of that. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
what it has become. Anyways, I threw myself off. So let me get back to talking about what this lady's talking about though.
Okay.
So beyond that, the fact that there's this movement starting, which I feel like, I need to share and try to like participate in myself because I think that's super important. There's already physicians who are like doing their own separate private practice thing. It was specifically telling us how to like find a doctor who's already operating outside, like a primary care physician. And my understanding of it, which is I'm just learning about this, is that you basically pay versus having insurance, you like pay a membership fee to that doctor practice and you get
Yep.
access to the. Are you already aware of this? You're already doing this? Or?
There was an Instacare here in town that did it, and I really liked the idea. And then they started having some people work for them that I was not a fan of, so we stopped going. But I loved the idea. You would pay, I can't remember how much it was per family member per month, but it was a lot less than health insurance. And you could get things like x-rays and general care You got sick, you could go in. You could, um, I think you could even do preventative stuff. If you felt like you needed to go to a doctor, you could go to a doctor, and they have access to like MRI machines and um, X-rays and tests and all sorts of things
Yeah.
that would fall under this radar. So unless you got like cancer or something huge,
Yeah.
it would take care of everything, which is a great idea. But it's hard to pay that and the health insurance for in case you get cancer because I think we're all just expecting to end up with cancer one day. Like,
Yeah, but at the rate
probably
that
just gonna
I'm
happen.
like when I was younger, you heard about it and it was like, oh, that's scary, but it was distant to me. I had never had anyone
Hmm.
personally. And then now all of a sudden, uh, every family has it. And I think we can definitely attribute that to other things we've allowed to happen, like our food to be so overprocessed and unregulated in certain aspects that we
Well,
just
and I think
we're
if,
feeding ourselves poisons.
yep. And I think if we had systems that would actually look into that instead of like, what are
How
we
can I
making
make
off of
money off of
that?
this? Yes.
Mm, yeah. And that's the hard part because when you have lobbyists with tons of money and people who are willing to sign off on anything,
Yes.
need some accountability, need to, I would like, oh,
Which I
I
think
would like
that's
to
what,
hold people accountable when we find out they've been doing things like that. I mean, I think it's widely known in government that this happens. The kickbacks are, they just happen.
yeah.
And I think it's freaking treason. You're working against the American people. And I think you should be absolutely held accountable.
I
And
agreed. Which I think is why this is so important that they're actively pursuing this legally, saying, hey, like this is so wrong. Corporations having this power over like the people's healthcare system is
it's not good.
is crazy. It's been really
They've
bad for us as humans, and
proven
we've
to be
got to
bad. Yeah.
stop. Yeah. Like this didn't work. Hold up. Fix it. And I know there has to be so much pushback because there's so many people who work for these companies. But if they really think about it, their job is pointless.
Well,
Their job is
lots
pointless
of
because
people
some
have pointless
people,
jobs, and it would suck to lose
yeah.
that many jobs.
But that's the point. We have
Sometimes it
people
has to
doing
happen.
jobs for the sake of having jobs. We could be doing things better, but we're so fucking afraid that somebody might sit down while somebody else is working. Like, I feel like things would work themselves out better, but they convinced us to like be against each other and be like, no, everybody must be doing this, working within this exact same set of rules and expectations. And it's just a fully broken system.
Is it true that my patients can get labs drawn for $2, $3, $4 a piece? Yes. And I thought that was going to be the big thing that pulls people towards direct primary care. But I was having a conversation with a patient the other day and she goes, I thought that was going to be my big value too. But she said, that's not the most valuable thing about joining your practices, Ben. And I asked her, I said, well, what's the big thing that's kind of, made you feel like you got more value? And she said, it's the time. There are some conditions or some issues that come up that normally would cost me an hour or 2 hours in a waiting room and seeing a doctor for 3 minutes. I get to text or I get to call, and that saves me so much time and anguish out of my day. The other thing is that she said that walking into the office, she's not waiting around. We get right to business the second she sets foot in the door. And the other thing is that we know each other and we know each other well, and we can contextualize new problems. She feels heard, she feels listened to. And so I just feel like that initially I was like, wow, people can save a lot of money on labs. But I think what I did not recognize was the value that people have for their own time and the fact that direct primary care can restore some of that with folks. So I was just really grateful to get that kind of feedback. It kind of hit me in a way that was unexpected. And I think the feeling that I leave that conversation with is like a lot of gratitude and a lot of hope that there's so many people out there that have no idea the types of value that a direct primary care office could bring to their life.
It's so that you can find a primary care physician, I guess, who works somewhere in your area. And I definitely want to look into this because me and Anthony were just talking about like we have insurance through his company and we have done the high deductible plan. And it's worked for us in the past, but even with that now it's like just It just feels like it's getting a lot more. 'Cause they used to cover like a basic office visit. Now it's
Hmm.
$90 each time. And because my kids just had strep and I was going each time, it was like every single time I went over there for the luxury of going in, and I know that's not going directly to the doctor who I just gave, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and
Hmm.
also, and it's not just like corporations, you know, that because it's not the business itself that is even setting these things sometimes, it's the insurance companies.
Yep.
I don't
Oh
I don't
man.
see the people in the office as the bad guys at all. It's the people who
Well,
don't even work in the office and make all the decisions and are only motivated by profits.
mhm. And in a lot of cases, as soon as you say you have health insurance, the medical place you are at, the pharmacy, anything, they are not allowed to tell you of any other options, even if it would
No.
be cheaper.
Yeah.
There, it's that should be freaking jailable offense, man. That's
Yes,
crazy.
so many
That's
things.
awful.
But how do you hold the people accountable who have all the power? You have no power to hold them accountable. We have no power
That's the
other than to
frustrating part.
try to operate outside of them. Just say, okay, fine. Granted, you know, hopefully this movement will get traction. And I know I'm definitely going to be trying to like, I don't know. It's one of those scary ones though too, because so many people's jobs are like, I wonder if the corporations are going to be like, if you're associated with that, like, goodbye. Because there's enough, they could be like, oh, there's other people who will take the job. Because although really there aren't, like they're struggling to fill positions, and what they're doing is
Yeah.
just making it easier to go to school for these things, which you're like, yay, more people can go to school. But it's like, no, they're not making it cheaper, more affordable. They're lessening the qualifications. So you're
You're
just going to
getting less
have,
quality.
yes, less quality care because we're going to take less time and we're just going to teach them the business of it. And that these are the questions that you ask. These are what we've decided most people around this age have. Now we've got this hamster wheel of old people just going from doctor to doctor to doctor. We're the most medicated country in the world, and it just makes me feel really stupid. Like we're just
Yep.
being stupid.
Yeah.
Mm.
And frustrated that we can't fix it. Like,
Yes.
like there's nothing I can do to fix this. I've got ideas, but don't know how to put
And
them
I
into
guess it's
practice.
like you're supposed to go join government, but at a low level, no matter what you do, it's like basically fundraising, right? It's like, give me money so I can go snooze and get more money so I can, and it's just like
You
fucking
get stuck in
what?
the hamster wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
don't know. I don't
anyway,
know.
keep up the good fight. I like the summit that you were talking about. I hope to see good things come from them.
It's
Working
February
outside
10th,
the
which is
system is
tomorrow. I'll send you the
mhm.
link. And
Okay.
I'll see if there's any way I could, well, it's not like there's somebody watching this who's probably going to be like, oh, now I'm going to go see this. But if I could, I don't know what to do. Other than go
That's okay.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Just we'll watch for the outcomes and for hopefully we can help support the people who are working outside the system and trying to find a better way.
Yeah. I mean, I
'Cause-
don't have a regular doctor right now, and I am behind on so many things that I think it's the route that I'm going to probably end up going. Just because, like,
yeah.
I'm always spending so much on the kids. So even though I have insurance, that we have such high deductibles that it's like, do I?
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
maybe for my
Exactly.
regular like
For
stuff.
I had to go to the doctor the other day and I'm like, you know what? Just charge me for it because I'm not going to deal with insurance. Like, I don't even know if this is in coverage or whatever. Just
Yeah, but I'd almost rather you
charge me
not
for the
because
whole
then you're
thing.
gonna give me the cash price, which I know it like it's still freaking expensive because the corporation is also going off of usual and customary prices. They're
Yeah.
not coming up with some like let's think about I don't know.
Yeah.
Just-
It's it's insanity.
yeah.
I don't like the system that we have now and hopefully, but if we got them to where manageable, where people could pay for it themselves, which is doable, I'm positive that it's doable.
Yeah. And
With
just
all of this, if you took all of one of the Medicaids or whatever, and just put it towards research and development, like the government's in charge of research and development,
yeah,
here's your
yeah.
stuff. You don't have to, the drug companies don't have to charge extra. And you make it so that people are not getting like, I hate to say you can't invest in drug companies, but if the government is paying for all of the things that you would want to invest in them for,
Yeah. Like we
with
should care about
a
our health
pittance of what
communally,
they're paying,
Yeah.
then put everything down to where it needs to be for just, I don't know. I don't
But
know.
then you're saying that the government's in charge of it, and so many people don't want the government in charge because the government is bought
Right.
right now. So what they care about
That's
is what
true.
they've been paid to care about because they
That
have
is
to.
true.
So
That is true. I haven't
uh,
put that much thought into that,
no,
but
I
yeah.
know, and that's just me putting on my tin hat and getting angry at feeling helpless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But,
Okay, I have another positive though. So that
okay.
this
Go.
girl is awesome. Like, go follow her on TikTok because she does not have a huge following yet. Like, but she
Okay.
deserves it because she's like sharing so much useful
She's
information.
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, if there were one, it would be this because it's helping people in general. Like
Oh,
she's
absolutely.
teaching all kinds of stuff on here, so super useful. But then this other thing is really cool. This is the last one I'll share from her. It's that there is some sort of a, okay, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Okay. Because this is just a really cool thing that I'm gonna start sharing with people because
Okay. I'll wait. I'll watch for it.
yeah. Because apparently there are some resources available. Like people are trying to do good things and trying to help others, but it's hard to like get people to the resources. You know what I mean? It's not easily accessible. So apparently there's some website.
Share this website with everybody you know. Findhelp.org. Put your zip code in here and then hit search. I'll show you what they have. Check out all these categories: food, housing, goods, transit, health, money, care, education, work, legal. I'm going to click on the help tab. And check this out: addiction and recovery, end of life care. Look at all of this stuff. Help paying for care, mental health care. There are so many resources available, so we need to get the word out. Findhelp.org.
So there's a website that will show you where to find everything as inexpensively as possible.
Yeah. And people, I think it's just probably links to sites and people, you know, places where they're
Oh, they're
trying to
trying to do
help, you
good.
know? Exactly. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I feel um, like there are things that I feel like I don't even know what to, like. I'm like I feel pretty put together, but then I have some things where like I don't feel like I know where the next step is. So I'm like, maybe this will have that information for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know
Yeah.
what resources I don't know right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Maybe you can answer my question. Maybe I'll tell you. So, because this is not healthcare related, but you know, this could
Okay.
be important for somebody else too. When, you know, with Anthony's disorder, with
Hmm.
bipolar disorder, you one of the coping skills, I guess, is
Yeah.
spending. Spending to like get, you know, so we
Uh-huh.
throughout like the course of our marriage, especially leading up to like his diagnosis and then during the time where he was um you know, really sick and we weren't sure what was going on, his purchasing
Yeah.
was pretty out of control. And because he
Retail
did,
therapy.
yeah, but like, yeah, like at one point in
Anyway,
time,
sorry,
we
keep
had
going.
2 new vehicles and 4 new motorcycles. Why they kept giving,
Oh gosh.
yeah, 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 yeah. So like, it was like a
Big
that
purchases.
big purchases, yeah. And so like, thankfully, most of those things have now been like settled or whatever, but there were some credit cards that we put into like a debt relief type program where you paid
Yeah.
into it and then you were supposed to pay for a certain amount of time and then you know they took care of it from there. Like the money that went in should cover the cost of what they would need to do to get your debts
Hmm.
settled or whatever. So we paid up until it stopped drawing. And I hadn't paid tons of attention to it, honestly. I was letting it, like I saw it come out of the bank account, but they didn't do a lot with like there wasn't a lot of reach out from their
Doing what
side
they were
and
supposed to. Yeah.
I wasn't reaching out because I was just trying to fucking survive because we
Hmm.
just because we
You put it in
started
their hands and you trusted them.
yeah, just because we were taking care of the debt does not mean that all of a sudden he, you know, because he was, you know, that was still and still is today. So in some ways of therapy, we're just a lot smarter about it, you know? But either
Yeah.
way, so jump to today, there are some um just outstanding credit cards that now we are getting these things saying they're like garnishing wages or things like that. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
yeah. And I'm like, in a way, I'm like, that's fine. Okay, there, they get their money. But I'm like, oh, I missed a whole part. I missed a whole part in between where I got some of those and or I guess I just never mind. Just kidding. Take back. I hit the pipe and I confused myself.
That's okay.
So, um, initially when we got some of those, what you're supposed to do within the program was if you got that is like scan it and then send it to them because they would what they did is they were like just stop paying and then what we do is then we do the legal part for you and negotiate
Hmm.
the debt. So it was supposed to be like a legal thing where they're hiring a lawyer for
Yeah.
you. But apparently the amount of money we put into the program did not actually fulfill the program. They're not always 100% right. You know, they take a lot of fees and stuff like that. So then after they take their money, they just didn't have enough to actually pay our debts. But when I took it to them, at first it was like they were gonna be able to, okay, let's get this in the program. But then it was like, wait, these are like because you didn't have enough, like they finished whatever they'd already paid off, and it was like now you're not in the program anymore. So those debts are
Oh,
kind of just on you, and they can't do anything
but we're
about it
not.
because they can't do anything because it's already in litigation. So they're like, no, now we can't touch that. So now I have these things, but I'm like,
Thanks, guys.
do I go to the court and say, hey, like, and as these things have come in, like I haven't responded to them because like you're supposed to send a picture
It
to
was,
them or whatever, and then
yeah.
but it's and at this point it's been an embarrassing amount of time where I just haven't done anything and I'm just letting it garnish because I'm like, where do I go? Do I go to the court and say I don't know. You know what I mean? Would you know what to do in that
Yeah.
situation? You have a lawyer of a dad, you probably would.
I would probably ask him. I can ask him. But I once it's gone to litigation, I don't know if you could work with the company
Or should I just let
who
them
holds your
continue
debt.
to garnish? Because I'm like, all right, garnish. I
Well,
don't
you can, it
care.
doesn't hurt to call the company who holds that debt. Like it may have gotten sold to several
How do
people,
you
so find
find
out.
that?
Um, whoever sent your last bill, like to you, or the last, this is your final notice or whatever. Do you
Those
have any?
uh
Are they long gone?
I'm sure.
Well, I think you could probably find out in the court papers, like no, for real,
Yeah.
who the other side is. You call that company, you say, hey, it shows I have $3,000 in debt. You're going to be garnishing for this long, or I can just pay you a lump sum of $1,000 right now. I have a
Yeah,
thousand
yeah.
dollars, or you can just continue to garnish me. But I have $1,000 right now, or you can get this minimum payment.
Yeah, yeah, because it's
So,
so silly
because a
that it
lot of
feels
times
like
they'll
it's
settle,
like I'm like, why is this too much for me? And it's not that it's too much, it's just that I feel like I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I'm just
because it's
like,
not your wheelhouse. This is not
I
what you.
guess, I guess. So
It's
anyways,
it can be scary and stressful. We can do a whole podcast on that
yeah.
sometime.
Well, thanks for your advice. So I will take that advice
Um,
and then getting it back to though that I'm gonna use that website. Maybe they'll have something for
some
like
legal, mhm,
advice or something or somebody who works with
absolutely.
people who are in debt because I what I imagined it was and like I said I haven't done a lot of research. I just found her and was all excited about her content, but I'm like I wonder if there's people who are actively trying to help people get out of things because I know there are like
Yeah.
people who are actively trying to do like grants and stuff to pay off people's medical bills or things.
Hmm.
So I don't know. There's probably help there. I don't know what I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
For real. But a little research goes a long way too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. What I'm saying is I like that she showed that website that is itemized
Mm-hmm.
so you can look things up. People who are because I think there is a large portion of people who really want to help people.
Yeah. And
Like
so
I wanna live life, but I'm not an own my own island kind of person. I'm more of a let's have sufficient for my needs and then let's
yeah.
help other
You're a
people.
Dolly Parton.
Oh, that is the best compliment I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
Thank
because
you.
that's her. She could have way more than she does, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
she's so giving to her community and those around her
Love
and
Dolly.
that needs. Yeah. And I
Did
think
you see
that's awesome.
the TikTok that my daughter made
I don't think I
of
did.
where she told us that Dolly Parton died?
Oh, I did not.
Oh,
How
you'll have to see it
rude.
because
Well,
yeah,
should
well,
I
it was
play
one of
it
those
right here?
ones
Is
where
it funny?
it's short, but sure. It's just one of those ones where like um you say somebody died that hasn't died just to get
Okay.
people's reaction. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Was this real recent? Let's see.
it was over Christmas break.
Dolly Parton dead at 77.
No, she's not.
It's not funny.
That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Reposting, Aubrey. Reposting. I love it. Okay. Okay,
We
so
we like our Dolly.
yes, as everyone should. So I
Yes.
finally found the other one I was thinking about though, where it was a like a primary care physician talking about how
Yeah.
how it works. And one of the things he talks about, and I said to you to watch it, but he was just talking about, yeah, you get your blood drawn for or get meds, and he's saying these low amounts. And I'm remembering
Mhm.
when I first took a pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant with Bella, but then I went into where my sister Sarah worked and she drew my blood and they did the test. Like they just did everything right there. And now when I go to the doctors, it's like, well, you'll need blood work before I can do anything. I'm going to take 18 vials, but then you have to go schedule this separate appointment with a separate lab. Like
Uh-huh. Oh
nothing is
gosh.
cohesive and together. And it's giving me that vibe of like that's the environment you'd have, and I would totally like that for my healthcare. But anyways, go watch it real quick and then
Okay. I'll be back.
so this is all just
Awesome.
giving me like hope for like a future healthcare that I could work in. I hope there
Yeah.
there end up being dental practices like this. There still is like one thing about like healthcare like that, he doesn't have to keep a lot on hand to be able to help people, whereas like a dentist has to have a lot of
Yeah.
material. Even a hygienist, like there's I don't know,
There's a lot you
in
just need
like
to
your
stock.
general there's a lot that needs to be to be there to do those things. So it's a little
Mhm.
harder, but
But not
pretty
impossible.
yeah, but lot cooler though. Like definitely gonna
Yeah.
check out a PCP for
Well,
myself.
I loved the TikTok of the lady who went to Iceland. I'll have to find it for you.
Yeah.
But she went to Iceland and when she was there, she found a lump in her breast and she's like, I don't want to wait till I get home to figure this out. Like, I'm gonna be freaked out about this until I get home, so I'll just see what they have here.
Yeah.
And somebody told her to call the cancer clinic. So she calls and they're like, you can just come in. She's like, can I schedule an appointment? They're like, no, you just come in. And so she just came in. They got her right to like whatever machines she needed, the MRIs and the ultrasound, whatever. Bang, 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 bang. She was out the door. And they said, because you're not an Icelandic citizen, this is going to cost you like $5. Like, usually it would be free, but we're going to have to charge you and it's going to be like $5. So,
Okay.
anyway, if we could do that, heck yeah, not have to wait. My brother was in the hospital recently. He had some blood clots in his kidneys. And the fact that he's still having to wait like a month to get testing done, it's like, are
Mm-hmm.
you kidding me? He could be dead by then. Like, why does it take so long? It shouldn't. The end.
Yeah.
Sorry. Soapbox.
Yeah. And sometimes, it's because we don't have as many people working in healthcare right now. So they're having to help so many people, and that's an aspect. But a lot of people
That's true.
also aren't working in healthcare because it's a miserable place to work. So we have to
Nobody
give up
wants to deal with all that.
yeah, even if you want to help, like if our time just sucks, like we get one fucking life. Like we want to enjoy it. And I can enjoy helping people, but I can enjoy being part of the system that makes it hard for people to access like basic things. Like we should just be taking care of everybody's basic needs at this point, and we're just being stupid about it.
Well, and basic needs, people should be able to
benefit from all the progress that
Well,
we've
no,
made,
you
the
should,
understanding that we have about how
yeah.
to take care of the body, how to take care of the
Mhm.
teeth,
But it
like
shouldn't just
sort of
be like
safeguarding it.
somebody else paying for everything. Like it should be that a good job, and I mean a good job is somebody going to work, a regular
Yeah.
a regular job should be enough to pay for your basic everyday needs, your college education for your kids and a few extras, vacation once a year, or you
Mhm.
know what I mean? There is a basic level of life that we need to be able to afford from putting in our effort. Like our effort should equal
For
basic
sure. But look
standard
at
of
how
life.
much money we have in our taxes, and you've already been talking about this, how we could
Oh
just put
gosh.
money into research and development. That's all I'm saying. I'm also just saying, what if our taxes went to research and development and paying for things like education and healthcare, in that you pay the doctors, you pay the nurses out of our taxes versus paying for things afterwards. So the same amount of money coming out, people could live a good life without ever being driven by money, because the money was already there. Like what they did with each patient didn't increase their money. They could just care about the patients at hand. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't know.
I
In
don't know
my mind, in
either.
a
I'm
perfect
just,
world, I don't want to depend on taxes any more than I have to. I'd rather create a system where we can take care of
then how are
ourselves
we taking
with
care of
enough
research and
extra to take
development?
care of.
We have to, how do we
Uh,
collectively take care of research and development if we're not all willing to pay into a pot? It's just the fact that they're
yeah.
using all of
Well,
that money for stupid shit that we don't
there
need.
you go.
And
There
that's
you
just
go. We
because
got
our
to take
government is
care of the
broken and
stupid crap.
they literally are just fighting over stupid shit when we need to just take care of the people and live
Yeah.
our
Well,
lives.
there's enough donations made, I'm willing to bet, by just regular humans like you and me
Mhm.
to do research and development. It's all that extra crap that you're talking about that needs to get squashed so we can focus on the main stuff. There's there's too many hands out
Yeah,
for the
well,
money, and
so
few
what
of it
you're
gets to
saying is
where it
the
needs to
same
be.
thing, though. It's just that there has to be
Yeah,
somebody to govern that money. Somebody has to do the work you know what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
we don't like the government we have, but we need to govern ourselves as a people. So we still need
There need,
that. The idea that I think is helpful for a society, it's just that it's filled with the swamp. Just kidding. But he's just
well,
more
no,
of the
we need
same.
to,
So
if there were ways for us to hold people
rich
accountable
fucks.
and there were ways for us to change,
Yeah.
like if we see a wrong in the system, to be able to say, oh, wait, hold up, let's fix it.
Yeah. And what's
It would be a
crazy
lot
to
better.
me is so many people are they think, and I'm gonna go off on a soapbox that's gonna piss people off, but they think Donald Trump is like he's gonna drain the swamp, like he's gonna be the one to help. He is not in the same world as them. He has never been held accountable. He has done so much bad. He like his bankruptcies, his
I'm
sexual,
just,
he's just literally a bad human. So you expect me to think that he is going to fix all the bad, being the bad? How fucking stupid are you? That's the end. That's the end of my thing.
no, that's
I just
that's
think he is
that's fine.
disgusting, just like every other one of them.
I'm in shock and not awe. I'm just in shock that both of those candidates are still running today. I'm like,
They wouldn't even be allowed to work at any other regular
what?
job. You know what I mean? The fact that
Yeah.
the old
And
people
there
are
are
holding on to power for so long, it is ruining things. Like, let it go, guys.
gross.
I get that there are things to be
Well,
learned by like experience and stuff, but you were like inhibiting progress and growth and like the human civilization with old stupid ideals and just holding on to
I
power.
think I think we have amazing people in this country that would do such a good job. And the fact that we have who we do leading the country is a sign of just, it almost feels like the the man behind the curtain pulling the strings or whatever is like,
Yeah.
how much crap can I actually get away with?
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
they're just messing with us
Whatever
now
they want.
because
They live outside of
ridiculous.
us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
uh yeah, that's a topic for another podcast because it makes me tired just thinking about it.
Yeah. And the fact that, okay, I'm going to say the last thing because we're like going over, but
Okay,
it just made
that's
my
okay.
my brain just went here. The fact that there have been so many things that could have actually progressed us in like a good way that have been stopped because people have literally just like killed the competition. Like look up the story about the guy who made a car that drove off of water.
Oh, there's been several, and they have all disappeared.
But one of them where he was like, it's a known story where he was supposedly poisoned, but I'm just like literally just killing off the competition so that everything just has to continue to go one way, even though we know it's not working in the long run, but that's how they make money,
Yeah.
so they don't care. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
Think of where we could be,
Yeah.
all the cool things we could do if
I just wish that there really was something that would hold people accountable, because I don't believe there is. And I think the people at the top who are never held accountable depend on people at the bottom to be worried about what they're going to be held accountable for to some like greater thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So accountability, it's huge. It's going to be big.
Oh, but yeah, I'm really excited about this lady's TikTok, and hopefully we can learn a lot from
The
her
help,
and what
yeah.
they're doing.
Good luck to all of you who are on the front lines of healthcare reform. Bless
Yeah.
you for your efforts. It's
I
a
know.
dangerous place.
And I have been like, this has been something that's like so frustrating, but I felt so like helpless. So to see that somebody is like coming up with like
Ideas,
ideas
innovation.
and acting on them. 'Cause I know that takes a lot of organizing and time and money, and I know I don't have a lot of that to give right now at this point in my life. So super
So bless
grateful
those
for other people.
involved.
Yes. Anyways.
Absolutely. Keep
All
fighting
right.
the good fight. We're
Well,
behind you.
yeah. But to wrap it
May
all
you
up,
be
I think your idea, what you came here with today, good idea. I'm on board. Let's
Thanks.
do this.
Thanks for giving me a platform to spill out what I think about at 2 a.m. when my brain's like, oh, awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, I love you.
May you
And
be blessed
Lilas.
with lots of good health. Lilas.
Lice. Lice.
Bye.
God.
Lice. Lice to you.
Lice to you. Okay,
No
I love
lice.
you.
Love
Bye.
ya. Bye.
Subscribe up there.
Subscribe.
There's a subscribe up there.
Okay.
Like the button.
Okay.